So for this video, we are going to summarize chapter two. We are I'm going to give a brief summarization of all the steps that here in the chapter two and every section. Okay, and this iOS bootcamp and these topics, it will show the it it will teach us how to act how it will teach us what what are what are the things that will help us to access the um, the CLI for a network, for example, for a switch or router. So on this access method, I think. Okay, in this access method, it's included the console, SSH, and the telnet. And I believe that I've already discussed those things on the other on my other summary. So that is our access methods. It will help us to access to our CLI on either switch or router. Then navigating the OS. Mm. S- And here we are taught the but we are taught by this site, the NetAcad, um, on what are the commands that we are going to use to configure a network. For example, you must when you are on user exec mode, you should type you should press enter to enter user exec mode. Then type enable to the CLI so that you will prompt to the privilege exec mode. And when you're on the privilege exec mode, you can either go to global configuration mode or check your currently running configuration. Like for example, if you type show running config, it will prompt you to the to a bunch of plain text that will show you the your running configuration. For example, if you made a configuration and the host name, it will going to appear on on the plain text that your host name was changed. Or if you provide a password, it will prompt the password on the show run. And also on the privilege exec mode, you not only the show running config, but you can also save the save your running configuration. So once you restarted the router or switch, it will run the saved configuration. So that's all for this section and the basic device configuration. So the basic device configuration is having a host name, which the command is host name. You will going to type it on the global exec mode. Type host name, then space, then what you want. For example, on my switch, I want to be its host name is Edward. So I will type hostname on the global configuration mode, hostname, then space, then Edward. Then the limit access to the device configuration. It is the typing a password. It is creating a password for limiting someone that will going to configure the device because switch and routers, its default, it has no password and its host name is router or switch by its default. But by this configuration, you can manually change those things. So to um wait, to configuring a password, you just simply type on the sub configuration mode, there's two sub-configuration mode. It is interface and console. Whereas in interface, it's more on the IP addresses. If you're going to configure IP addresses for different ports, that where you will going to configure. So on this part, when you are limiting the access to the device, you should um, you should you should configure a password for the console, VDY, and AUX. So for configuring the console, just type in global configuration code. Um, cons wait, let me check. I kind of I okay. Just simply type line console 0. Then after that, click enter. Then type password. What the password you want. For example, password Cisco, and then space. Then don't forget the login so that your password will work. Um, on So now we have the password on our router, right? The next one is we're going to create a password for our for our remote, which is the VDY. Uh, we'll just simply type to the global configuration mode, line VDY 0 to 15, then type password and what you want password, type it next to the password, then press enter, then type login so that you will that so that it will work. Also, like in aux, just simply type line aux 0, then type the password and login. Then that's how it works. Then save configuration is just simply go back to privileged exec mode, then type um, copy running start start, and it will automatically save your configuration. Then the address scheme, the it 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 will teach us the IP addresses and the different ports and configuring IP address. IP address will able we can configure IP address manually or dynamically. And manually, we are typing some bunch of decimal numbers which is may katulad na binary number, which is a decimal form of a binary number, like that. Then the then on the next topics we are going to know the the two versions of IP addresses. So verifying connectivity is typing on the CLI ping and what what do you call it, and what IP address you want to ping that's connected with your network. For example, uh, I have a network here. I have two laptops. I can identify if my two laptops has a connection by simply pinging the IP address of each other, and if it if it receive if the CLI or your laptop receive a reply from the other laptop, so that you will so that it will show that it has a connectivity. But if it lost 100% and it doesn't receive any reply from the other laptop, it means there's no connection at all. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you understand something, and I hope you learned something from me, and thank you for